Hello, I'm old Mr. Kent. Start talking, start coughing. Anyway, I'm 82 years old, and I ride around on my E-Trike telling my life story. And right now, I'm up to 2016. I should just start over, I guess. Anyway, pardon me. I'm up to 2016 when we moved from the Spokane Valley in Washington to the Santan Valley in Arizona. And my son and his family moved, and we moved, mainly because we follow him around so he can watch his kids while they're working. And also because we just like the guy. Anyway, so in my last video, I told everything about how my wife picked out a house. And so in this video, I'm going to tell you our situations that we went through just to get down here in Arizona. That's where we are right now. And it was sunshiny, and then a cloud came in about the time I started videotaping. And it kind of destroys the video quality, but that's how it is today. So anyway, let's see. Let's go back. We had my wife had a Dodge Durango, and that was our regular car. I had one, and I sold mine, and we had one, or she had one that she liked, and so but that a friend of mine said he was a snowbird. He had a little house down here in Arizona, and he said, don't take a black car to Arizona because it was black. So we thought, okay, we'll trade that one in and get something that it's a lighter color. So we went over to CarMax, and they showed us his vehicles and all this and that. And we found one that was kind of red, and so we decided, okay, let's go ahead and get that one. So we traded in the Dodge Durango and drove it was a hatchback, okay? Not as big as the Durango, but it was not black. So we traded the Durango in. We drove that home. When I got home, I took my grandson for a ride, and then when I got back from the ride, I thought I should check the oil. Well, I hadn't really taken a close look under the hood. When I raised the hood, that engine it looked like it had been sitting under salt water for years. I mean, the aluminum engine was crusted over with corrosion. The plastic connectors on the wires, they were cracked. Everything was like something was wrong, and it wasn't an old car, but anyway, so we took it back, and because at CarMax you can take them back within 3 days. The only thing is, we couldn't get our Dodge Durango back, so we were stuck without a vehicle. Well, we had some dear friends, Tim and Barb, and they had been friends of ours for many years. We spent a lot of time going to each other's house and having Bible studies and stuff like that. And so we called up Barb, because she was home, and said, we're stuck at the car dealership. Would you please take us over somewhere where we can rent a car? So she took us, she came and got us, and we found a little car to rent while we were still trying to find a new car. And so let's see. So we got the rental car, and then we just spent the day trying to find a car that we could drive to Arizona that suited our needs. And so we went from one dealership to another, and we just could not find anything. Now, we had everything packed in boxes, and what we didn't put in the semi-truck, the basic needs and so forth. We had that all packed in boxes so we could put it in the back of the vehicle that we drove and take it with us. Plus, we had a dog, and then we had a cat, and we had a cat box, or a cat box. We had a little cage for the cat. So we went and drove around and looked and just could not find anything. And I'll never forget the picture and the feeling that I had sitting alone with my wife in a McDonald's that was about ready to close. And that's where we had to have dinner because she couldn't cook anything. It's all put away. And so, got a car coming by here. And so, we were sitting there and we could look through the window and see our little rental car out there. And we were at a dead end. Now we had our kids, one in Pasco, and let's see, what else did we have? Anyway, and oh man, we had 2 or 3 people, just friends and stuff, tried to find us a car online. And we're sitting there and it was like, we're at a dead end, we can't find a car to go to Arizona in. And we already packed up that semi-truck. It's called U-Pack, I think is what the name of it was. And they back up a semi-truck to your house and you load all your big stuff in, close the doors, and they come and get it. And then when you find a house down in where you're headed, well, then they drive it down there so you can unload it. Good morning. So, we're sitting there, and then fortunately, my son, also who had moved down here, but he wasn't moved yet. He found one. He sent me a link to it, and it was actually within our budget. And so what it was a Cadillac Escalade XT, which is the model that has the semi, or has a truck bed in the back. And so we thought, well, okay, we'll try that one in the morning. Went home, went to bed, and then next morning we headed out to Coeur d'Alene. That's only about 20 miles or so from where we lived, there in Spokane. And we looked at the vehicle, and it looked pretty good. We took it for a drive, and it was driving us. And I to this day, I can't even spell Cadillac. So anyway, so we decided to buy it. Well, in the meantime, with all everything going on, somebody had laid the keys in the front seat and closed the door, and it had this automatic locking set up, and so it locked the door with the keys inside. And I remember they were trying everything they could to get those doors open. You could not. They were trying to run plastic down between the seams, up on the top and on the sides, and they couldn't get it. And then they were supposed to put tires on it before we left, and so they said, if you guys don't mind, tomorrow you can come get your car. We'll have it ready for you, or try again or whatever. So we drove back to Spokane Valley where we lived, and told our friends what was going on. And so then next day we got up, went out to Coeur d'Alene, and they had gone to the dealership and got a key that would work. And so they had the doors open, they had the tires changed, and they had everything ready to go. So so we get in there, and I drove the Cadillac, and my wife, she drove the rental, and we turned in the rental, and we were on our way, we figured. But our friends, they wanted us the night before we left, they wanted us to come over and stay at their place, because where we lived, it was not convenient. Everything was packed up. So they said, come over to our place, have dinner with us, stay here tonight, have breakfast with us in the morning, and then we'll all say goodbye, which was nice, because that's the kind of friends they were. So we did that. We went over and had a good time with them and ate dinner, and then went to bed. Next morning we got up, had breakfast. Now, I got to tell you that Cadillac Escalade was like that the pickup truck or the pickup bed back in the back. It had 3 sections of really tough material that you put over the bed. And so we packed everything. I mean, we crowded the stuff in the back seat. We crowded the stuff in the bed of the vehicle, and then we put those 3 pieces on there, and we had everything packed up and ready to go. So we ate breakfast and said goodbye to them, and we headed south. But we also had to stop at our daughter's house in Pasco, where we used to live, and so we stayed there and visited with her and her husband and family until the next day. And that was a Sunday. I remember that we left on a Sunday, and this was like in late July, early August. I don't remember exactly what the dates were, but my son's wife had left early and gone down to Arizona so she could get the girls, our granddaughters, get them enrolled in school down there. And so she was already down there, and my son had a rental truck that he had stuff loaded up into. I didn't know he was going to do that. I gave away a really nice gas welding setup to a good, the husband of the people that we stayed with, gave that to him, and because they wouldn't let you pack gas type stuff, flammable stuff, in their U-pack trailers. So I gave it to him, and then I found out from my son when that he had rented a truck, like a little moving truck, that he could have carried it down to Arizona. So that was a little bit of a mistake. But anyway, I also gave away a lot of good ham gear, things like that. Sold a whole lot of expensive stuff to, remember I'm an amateur radio operator, expensive stuff to a guy who him and his son were just getting into ham radio, and they were so pleased to get the stuff, all the stuff that I gave them for a penny on the dollar, or whatever you would call it. So anyway, that Escalade had a really nice bed, and I could stand on it, as I have a picture of me after I got down to Arizona flying my drone. I was standing on the back of it to get better range. So anyway, so we got started, stayed at my daughter's house, and then we headed on south. Went down through Pendleton, and the highway, I don't remember the number of the highway. Anyway, might have been 84, or no, I don't know what it was. Anyway, that highway was blocked just south of Pendleton because of forest fires. And so, but I knew from riding my motorcycle all over that part of the country, I knew a back road that we could take that would get us around the fire and back on the freeway. And anyway, so we finally got going, and we traveled all day, and we stayed in a motel in Jerome, Idaho that night, and they allowed us to have dogs and cats in there. So we stayed there, and then the next day got up and headed on down the road, and somewhere south of Salt Lake City, our check light came on, and the air conditioner quit working. And it was, like I said, it was end of July, 1st of August, somewhere in there, and we weren't used to the heat. And so we finally, my wife was driving, and she pulled us off on an exit, and I said, "Where are you going? What are you doing?" And she said, "We're going to get the air conditioning fixed." And as it turned out, we are so blessed. As it turned out, we, let's see, we don't want to go that way. We'll go this way. We found a Cadillac dealership, and of course it was really, really hot. And we told them our problem, and they said, all right. So they let us bring our dog and our cat and go sit in the waiting room for people that are waiting for their cars to work on. And they drove the car back into their shop, and we thought, man, Cadillac, that's going to cost us a mint to get that thing fixed. And so what they did was they what do you call it? Replenished the air conditioning. You know, put new fluid in it, and then they also did something. I don't know what they did, but the check light went off and the air conditioner was working. And so we said, well, how much do we owe you? Expecting it to be real expensive. And it was $169, I think is what it was. So that was a blessing. So then we headed on down the road, and that night we stayed just on the outskirts of Las Vegas, and they let us have our dog and cat in there. And then the next day, we got up and headed on towards our new home. And we got down to, it's a 5-hour drive from Las Vegas to where we were. And so we got down to our house and followed the GPS, and that cute little voice on there led us to our new home. So we were in Arizona, and we're still in Arizona. And so, let's see, I think I'll just go this way. And so that's today's story. I got some more stories yet to go, but boy, we're getting really close to where we are right now. So I want to thank you for watching my video, and God bless.